Hello everyone, welcome to the Ahdurin region. I'm your host, Ahdurin himself. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Justice for All. That's the official name of this game, by the way. Shocker. Check out the playlist in the description below. Question of the day is here. June 21st, Oh, wait, no, I gotta do it right. Hold up one second. June 21st, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Gotta have it right.
What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean...
Yep, that's right. We got Prosecutor Von Karma. They're back. Maybe. No, I hear it's a successor this time.
Successor? Oh, boy. I didn't like the last Von Karma, and then Edgeworth was kind of iffy. So, I don't know. Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks. Also, he could win.
Yes, Maya. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate that. I don't know if Phoenix cares too much. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. And he had a voice that I cannot emulate because it went just, however deep you can go, you go like an octave below that. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of his guilty verdicts. Those guilty verdicts. Those tragic verdicts. Fun fact, that's what the quote-unquote new game is about, which I own now and will probably play in 2020. And now his successor. Wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. And that's not what the entire game is about. Also, by the time I don't know when this episode's coming out, that could be like, the new game has come out, been released. That would be very funny.
It's no good. Mystic Maya!
Pearly?
You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you.
This is as high as I can get, guys.
Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed the map.
Pearly, you wild character. Don't tell me you walked all the way here.
Huh? Of course not. I ran.
Oh my gosh, Pearl, you adorable little child. Why did you run for... As far as I know, this is a long train ride. Or a decent size. This is enough for it to be an expedition train ride. I can't... Oh my... It takes 2 hours by train. This poor child.
Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train?
This poor child. I just want to... Look, this is the... Pearl, I know... Pearl... Does Pearl have... I don't know. If you're not a fan of Pearl, don't tell me. Because to me, Pearl is the equivalent of that, the Brooklyn Nine-Nine meme of like... I know I just met this person, yada 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 thing. That's basically Pearl for me. I give up.
It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me?
Actually, this is where Pearl comes. Pearl, Von Karma does something, punch him in the face.
At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Who's that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend.
Ah, that's his voice. I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Ooh, they got the classic music back. Objection! And then me yelling back, objection. I mean, Phoenix, every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. Objection! Like that. Objection! Just yelling back and forth.
It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life...
Maya, please don't mention that name ever again.
Huh? But why, Nick?
I'm sorry, Maya, I forgot you don't know. I don't know either. What He's gone, and he's not coming back. They didn't do that to my boy.
What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean?
Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the court. What a cliffhanger. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway.
Nick?
Oh boy. Well, that's going to be in the back of our minds for the rest of this series. June 21st, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. Yikes. Oh look, it's Von Karma? Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? No noise here. You got Von Karma's mannerisms down, Pat. You're grabbing the left shoulder. What is with this kid? Oh, that's right. She's supposed to be younger than Phoenix, I think, by a couple years? Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yeah, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Alright, this voice makes sense if you know who she is. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So, I'm gonna try to go with this.
Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Huh?
You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct?
This isn't quite it, but I'm not great with it. Hold on, so she's the famed successor to Prosecutor von Karma?
I am Franziska von Karma, the prodigy.
I see.
I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge.
Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred von Karma?
If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can...
I'm talking. You do not disturb. This is what I say.
Boom.
If you interrupt again, my VIP will do the speaking for me.
Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Ow!
Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Prosecutor von Karma, your opening statement, please.
We're just letting the whip go by?
Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection.
We got another one of these folks.
The defendant Maya Fey will find no escape from her guilt on my watch.
Very well. What is the defense's position?
She ain't do it, 'cause she ain't do it. Your Honor,
Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
yeah, that's what we do.
Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea.
You can tell by the episode length, it's probably not 10 minutes.
That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time.
Justified self-defense. Plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... Nah. The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor, like the one that says N-O. Because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. And look at this Maya's face. Maya, the poor innocent person, obsessed with burgers, and has only occasionally killed someone. She never killed somebody.
How foolish. If that is how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness.
It's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Although at least this is a voice I can do without breaking my throat. Hey, it's my man's.
Witness, your name and occupation?
Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct.
Yeah. Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder.
Yes, sir. If everyone, but please look at this map here. All right, we got this now. Let's do it.
The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there?
They were channeling a spirit, sir.
Channeling a spirit?
Judge, I feel like we've been over this. That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started,
Gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir.
Yep. A few of the witnesses broke down the door and rushed into the room.
And that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct?
Sounds about right.
I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over.
Huh? Thank you for the floor plans, but huh? What are you talking about?
So, how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that.
Stop wasting my time, then. Alright, we'll get to it. Cause of death, here we go. Alright, let's do this. What are we talking, Gumshoe?
The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
Indeed.
So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir.
Is it up to date? Because I'm not doing that again.
The court accepts it into evidence, Mr. Wright. You may question the witness. You know how this goes.
All right, here we go. Cause of death time. Let's do this. All right, so first things first. Direct cause of death, the pistol. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? Good question, good question.
It was the victim's.
The victim? Now, why would he have...
Objection!
What?
Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start.
Fingerprints, there were fingerprints. Along with the victims. The defendant, Maya Faze, was also on the grip, sir.
Yeah, that's not great. I'm not sure. Should have. Yikes.
So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon.
Ah, walked right into her hands there. All right, well played. Fired from point blank range. Point blank, huh? So about how far away is that?
It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away.
Very precise there. And how do you know he was shot at point blank?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country.
Excuse me?
Gunpowder burn.
Gunpowder burn.
When something is shot from point-blank range, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead.
Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. Wow, Phoenix, way to go. Anyway, before that, stabbed in the chest. That's confusing to me, I'll be honest. Stabbed, and what was he stabbed with?
A fruit knife. I see, and whose knife was in it? It looked like it belonged to the face, sir. And of course, Maya's face fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh?
This does not look good. I think Maya was talking about making some food previously.
What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
The wound was severe, not enough to cause instantaneous death, right? How severe was the wound?
If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand.
Doesn't even make it sound like Maya stabbed him with the intent to kill. That's not great. The murderer used the pistol to finish off the victim. Right. So, are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot?
Yep, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal.
A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little bit more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Oh boy, what a pain.
That's enough. We've clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today.
Okay, we're gonna see these.
Very well, the court accepts them into evidence.
I'm gonna add both of them. Here's the pistol added in. We'll check out all this in a second. The knife as well.
The date and time of the death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case.
Naturally.
This might have actually been 10 minutes. This is going from bad to worse. If the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme.
Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there?
That is quite true, Mr. Wright.
Yeah?
Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose.
See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance.
It's a huge decision. I better think this through all the way. Plead justified self-defense, not guilty. This feels like a game over, I ain't gonna lie. Not guilty. If we plead justified self-defense, we'd be basically confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'd be labeled a murderer, and despite all the justified blah blah blah. So, I can't let that happen. Ahem. Your Honor,
have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright?
The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. And then immediately a whip.
You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Detective?
Yes, sir.
Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike.
Yes, sir. Now, see here, proceedings are run by... Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your other testimony, please.
Oh, poor other.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence.
Oh, joyful. Woo! Incriminating evidence. We gotta love this. Alright, what are we talking here?
Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence.
Oh, thanks for telling me now.
This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
Huh?
So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts this into evidence.
Well, that's great.
All right, Mr. Wright.
Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes.
Could this situation get any worse?
Oh, brother. I thought Karma was about to say something like, yeah, it could get worse.
What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Please stop calling me by my full name. It is disturbing. It scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. All right, before we do this incriminating evidence thing, I do want to check out the evidence pieces that we have so far. So we've seen most of the stuff, right? We got the badge, the newspaper clipping, the diagram of Fame Manor, Magatama, newspaper clipping 2, the folding screen, and the black key. This is new. So you've got the floor plan here, which isn't going to share much. The autopsy, stabbed in chest and then shot at point blank range, gunpowder residue around bullet hole. The pistol itself, murder weapon was Gray's, 2 shots fired, bears Maya's and Gray's fingerprints. The knife here, weapon submitted as evidence by Gumshoe, murder weapon, small fruit knife belongs to the Fays and has Maya's fingerprints. This ain't great, I'll be on. Oh, and Maya's costume. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder, there are blood splatters on it. This ain't great, if I'm being honest. We can see the people here, I don't think Karma knew. Became a prosecutor in Germany at 13, jeez. Prodigy who has never known defeat, you know, the joyful, regular things that you get to see on a day-to-day basis. Let's see what we can do here. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier?
You're kind of scary today, you know, pal. Come now, Mr. Wright. There is no need for that kind of attitude in my court.
Oh, I probably should have yelled that a little bit more.
All right, just please stop glaring at me like that.
Alright, the costume. Let's see what this is about. Maya's costume.
Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her.
Maya is wearing her channeling costume today, too. She's not allowed to wear anything else? As you can see, it's covered in blood. That's the entire statement here. This blood on the costume.
Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes.
Definitely not good. So were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence?
Well...
Objection! What do you mean, objections? If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad. Not enough time. Let's move on.
Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct.
Yeah, not even the judge is on her side. If I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? No, press it further. We push it. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. I think I found it, but let's see. I just have to look harder.
Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it.
Thank you for giving me the answer there. Looks like my time is up. So about the costume. There is one little thing that I've noticed here. Your Honor, 1 second, please. Actually, there is something very, very wrong with this piece of evidence here.
What are you talking about, pal?
And I think Miss Von Karma knows it too.
Where is this problem that you were talking about?
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. I'll show where it is. So, I wonder if it'll show everything. Okay, so we can click on the area. My issue... Hey, yo, what's with the hole in the costume? So, what's up with that? I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume.
The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here.
A hole? But that wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder.
Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Get it? Ha. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion that you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Boom.
Order. This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else.
All right, we've updated it. We'll check that out in a second.
Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir.
Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. A tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. Objection! Now wait a minute. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight.
Well, I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police. No, what Prosecutor von Karma has said, frankly speaking, is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then...
No way.
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, sir. Defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Okay, this is the adjustment of the cover in blood. We're continuing here. He was not fighting back. He wasn't fighting back? How do you know if he was or wasn't?
We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder changed drastically.
Boy, we're in real trouble now. If only had something to prove that the victim did fight back, which is... Yeah, I think you guys can see that. That von Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. Well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow, and then I'll have her. Did we jump that back to the beginning? Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure... Yeah, okay. So, you've got the defendant, it's covered in blood. Attacked or killed a person who was not, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Excuse me. 1 second here. I have a costume. Clothes I was wearing at the time of the murder. You can check button for details. And you can see the costume itself. I think this is the evidence, in my opinion. So, objection! Boom. Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling.
You said that my client killed your quote here, a person who was without a doubt, was not fighting back. I don't know if I said that correctly. Anyway.
Yeah, I did.
Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlook supposed to mean?
What does it mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Boom. Is this what it means to not fight back?
You're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything.
All right, the wind seems to be shifting. What's that? Are you finished left and laughed yet? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Ray? Oh, great, I'm predicting her words.
Miss von Karma.
It seems that Mayafe was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea.
That is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Oh, I see. Now that you...
Why, that's right.
Ow. Alright. Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all. No!
Well, yes, that's true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense.
How so?
Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course.
You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir, right away, sir.
Okay, great. We got more stuff, so what transpired? Okay, let's see what we got here.
During the channeling, the defendant saw a chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and then did it. The scenario you put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright?
On the surface, it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily.
Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please.
All right, here we go. See what transpired for reals this time. So starting off, saw the opportunity to stab the victim in the chest. Okay. So, there's quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. add in body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess.
Brother.
You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix, right? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not?
Huh?
When channeling with the Quran channeling technique, the medium physically changes.
Oh shoot, she's done her research.
With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor.
I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Quran channeling technique. Nah, well.
Like I said before, I am perfect.
About what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony.
Now we're just scaring the judge. Of course, the victim used last of strength to fight back. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him.
But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad.
How badly hurt would you say he was?
Actually, I went to give blood the other day, and afterwards I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the amount of dizziness.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Well, that's great. While the two were fighting, the victim took out their gun. Right. Where in the world did that pistol come from?
It looks like from the victim. Dr. Gray had specifically bought it.
It looks like the victim and Dr. A specifically bought it for that day. But a handgun.
He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder.
Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precaution against something? Victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. Alright. So, you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then?
Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when the shot was fired.
Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. This isn't great, though. Defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. Okay. So let's see here. Maya's never fired a gun before in her life.
The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire just by pulling the trigger.
Even me. I wonder.
Now do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect.
His testimony certainly makes us look very bad.
But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere.
And uncovering it is gonna uncover the truth. I can feel it. Alright. We gotta find where this is. Defendant saw the opportunity to stab the victim in the chest. I wonder if any of these things is gonna help. Let's see. Small hole that looks like a bullet hole. The old steel key. The diagram. Stabbed in the chest. Then shot at point blank range. Let's see. I wonder if there's anything here. Wait, this sentence here is the one that confuses me. The victim took a shot, but because they were so close, he missed? That doesn't make any sense, really. I'm wondering if we just use this on this. This is the first time I'm flimsy. Though the music stopped. That's always a good sign. Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing.
What? What do you mean?
Oh, look at that. This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Boom.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
We're going off. I'm not even sure what the exact logic we're working with here. I just have a general vague idea.
You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point-blank range.
If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Okay, that's what we're rolling with. That makes sense. That makes much more sense than whatever I was thinking, yeah.
Gunpowder burn?
This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. There ain't no burn area here.
Oh.
But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean?
It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other.
Objection!
Ah, brother. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What are you disappointed about? You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they separated, that he fired. How was that?
Objection!
No, hold up. No. So if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have the strength to push the defendant very far after that.
Duh. Then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There. That should satisfy even you.
That does make an awful lot of sense.
Oh, great, we're already there.
What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Let's be careful. Can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. If I just, it makes sense, yeah. Something doesn't make sense. I'll figure that out in a second. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor.
Fatal flaw?
Yay!
Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation.
There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. I think I know what it is, too. I think it's a screen, right? Because it's a hole in the screen. It's got to do with that. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic.
What is that, a folding screen?
I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen.
Gah!
It looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
What, where? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Is you really that clueless? Meanwhile, Von Karma on the other side's like, oh no, 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 no. The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... Boom. When the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Ooh, snap. We're rolling now.
Order! Order! This changes everything.
Please look at this diagram of the crime scene, because it's kind of important, to do the whole, shenanigan thing that we're rolling with here. Nothing. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Okay. So, if it's here, you're gonna miss. You'd have to be, lying down here, basically, right? I'm basically there. She was standing here near the folding screen.
Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim?
Nope. That's impossible.
But why?
You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Ms. Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. You seem to have taught me that today. Right? However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume.
Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You.
I believe it's now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. Do you think this has changed the defendant's situation?
It changes everything. I might as well. It doesn't change anything would be kind of pointless. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at that time?
Squatting all the way by the folding screen.
Bingo, my man, this is why you're a detective. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, well then, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike?
Upon further consideration, does make very little sense.
Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Yep, figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Wait a minute, I'm insulting you. Hold up. Oof. All right, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the bed. Tread. In the blast radius of disaster.
You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me.
Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Boom.
Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic?
How is it all my fault?
You can stop repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later.
But punishment? Oh, man. I wish I went back to the salary reductions.
Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness.
Next witness?
That's gotta be Lotta. Oh, that's right. Lotta was going to do this, wasn't she?
Very well, the court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we'll hear from the next witness.
Great. To be continued. Ooh, spooky time here. You have a save point here? We do have a save point. Boom! It's a reasonably length episode, I think, theoretically. Perfect place to end the episode here. Next time, we continue with the trial of the century, or the trial of the decade, or the trial of Maya Fey, because that seems to be happening all the time. Thank you, everyone, for listening, watching, and supporting in any way, shape, or form that you do. And until next time, take care.